And we are back with some more Washington Capitals franchise mode in FHM 10. And in this one, we have the rest of the offseason of year number, what is this again? I believe 5? Yeah, we're heading into year number 5 here. So before we advance any further, just want to make sure we are good with our roster. You got Prosvetov and Patera in goal. On defense, you got more than enough as of right now. I mean, you got prospects coming in, Lin, Wong, Galvis, and then not to mention you got Levshunov, I think, right? Wait, what? Where's Levshunov? I didn't let him walk, did I? I swear I didn't let him walk. I swear this is not. Oh my goodness, he is on the Abbotsford Canucks. Don't tell me he signed a contract with Vancouver. Yeah, he's a free agent. I swear. There's gotta be a bug going on here. I did not see his contract rights expiring for this year. There's no way I would have let him walk. And that's not the first time this has happened either. This happened with Cutter Gauthier as well, where I thought he was signed because he wasn't on the unsigned page. But now I'm realizing that he just wasn't on our team to begin with because he, for some reason, signed with Abbotsford. I swear there's got to be a bug going on here. I would not make that same mistake twice. At first, I thought it was just a mistake with Cutter Gauthier, but there's no way I would have just let Levshunov walk off the team like that. I mean, luckily we can offer him a contract because his rights are free agent right now. But oh man, that has got to be a bug. There's no way I would have made that same mistake twice. I'm usually very good at checking the signing deadlines and making sure I sign the prospects before their deadline. But for whatever reason, that's already happened twice this GM mode, where we have seen 2 prospects just inexplicably walk off the team. That has to be a bug. There's no way I would make that same mistake twice. Great, now I'm doubting myself. Anyway, once we get Levshunov signed, we will advance up to not the start of the preseason, rather you have the, the prospects tournament in August. All right, good. We got Levshunov back. Breathe a sigh of relief, but man, that's still... I'm perplexed by that. I know I would not. I know I already said it 1,000 times, but I would not have let that happen. All right, for the Hockey Hall of Fame, you have Brindamore, Waite, Gonchar, and Osgood. All right, so due to John Carlson's retirement this past offseason, we once again have to set another new captain. Honestly, this is one of those times where I kind of wish I could set 3 alternates because I don't really want a captain as of right now. Like, it doesn't feel like there's a clear-cut option. I guess if anyone, it would have to be Lambos, because he's the one who's had the most improvement over the past few years. I mean, we traded for this guy for Nick Dowd. Quite possibly one of my best one-for-one trades in a long time. Despite his only 13 for leadership, I think it's got to be Lambos. He had some incredible progress last season with that 53 points there, and I'm pretty sure his average grade was in the 70s. Yeah, 73. Yeah, I'm giving it to Lambos. So the new captain of your Washington Capitals is indeed Carson Lambos. There you go. And Phillips and Protas will continue to be the alternates for right now. I mean, honestly, I wish I could have just given Lambos the 3rd alternate, but, you know, that's not how this game works. So we did have to have a captain, and I think Lambos will do a good job. All right, coach, we got to talk about this, dude. It's strange because he got 20-06 in that game against Colorado, but only 858, 614, and 648 in the games prior. I mean, you're wasting your 4.5-star potential center prospect. It's just like, what are we doing here? Might seriously have to consider firing DJ Smith here if things don't improve for Misa during the start of the regular season. If he doesn't get the amount of ice time that he should be getting. And then, of course, the game afterward, he goes right back down to 853. I am very seriously considering firing DJ Smith right now because that is just absolutely unacceptable handling of Michael Misa. I think I got to trade Henry Rubinski here. He's 26. He's been flipping back and forth between the AHL and NHL basically ever since the start of the GM mode. And despite the fact that he has a 2.5-star ability, his grades in the preseason are not great. 54 and 50. Yeah, I'm going to see what I can get for him. Wow, no offers on the open market. That's usually not a good sign. All right, so we're trading Rubinski to Nashville in exchange for Jeremy Lauzon. He's 30 years of age, solid defensive defenseman. He actually got quite a few points last year, 31 in 82 games with Nashville, 60 grades, so I'm not sure how good his defensive grade is there, but considering the state of our defense, I'm not really sure if I want all these rookies on the roster at the same time. I mean, I'm probably going to send out at least 2 of them. Like, I get the feeling Lynn is going to be sent down for some more seasoning, and then I might trade a Yorio as well because he's just been so underwhelming this entire GM mode. So Rubinski for Lauzon, finalized trade. There it is. Anything for Iorio? Yep, we do get some offers for Iorio here. So at the very least, we know that there are a lot of teams interested. All right, so another trade here. Going to Arizona will be Iorio and Hunter Height. I already explained on Iorio, he has not been good over the past few years. And as for Hunter Height, he played 63 games in the NHL the year before last year. Only had 15 points, 54 grade, only 27 hits, so he's not physical either. He spent last year in the AHL, and he did not impress in the preseason this year either, so that's why he's been sent to Arizona, exchanged for Travis Boyd and Braden Coots. He's the main attraction of the package here, as he is 20 years of age, 1.5 star ability, 3.5 star potential, good two-way forward here, and he's also got a good personality. I do like that about him. Career stats, he had 81 points last year in the WHL. Looks like he's got some NHL experience actually. But I think Height and Iorio definitely need to change his scenery here, and hopefully Coots can pan out for us in the future. Offers trade, and we'll see what they say. And Arizona has accepted our trade of Iorio and Height for Boyd and Coots, complete trade. So Coots has actually been called back up to Washington. I thought he would have stayed with his junior team, but I guess not. So I will send him to the AHL for right now, and then I'll also send Boyd down. All right, coach, we gotta talk here. Take one look at the lines and tell me what you see wrong here. Michael Misa, once again, scratched. I don't know. I think we gotta fire DJ Smith here. This cannot happen. This simply cannot happen. All right, so in order to get some more cap on board, we're going to be trading for Adam Larson, making 3.4 for the next year, and a 5th round pick just to sweeten the deal a little bit. Offer trade, finalize. And with the acquisition of Larson, I think I'm going to send down Lynn. I do like the future that he has. I think he's going to be an awesome defenseman, especially for the power play for years to come. But he does need a little bit of seasoning as of right now. And I think he would benefit from some time in the AHL. So he's going to go to Hershey. And with that, yes, indeed, we are above the floor. So I guess I'll give DJ Smith a couple of games, but I don't know. I am not high on DJ Smith right now. I just want to see what he does with Misa in the first couple of games, because he's got Misa dressed right now. That's on the third line, so we'll see what happens, I guess. 12:47 of ice time for Misa. I'm going to keep an eye on Misa's ice time like a hawk. I need to make sure that coach doesn't ruin him. All right, at least Misa's getting some ice time here. 12:47, 14:44. 15-10, definitely much better than last season in that regard, but unfortunately we are starting out 0-3 here. Oh dear, Protus is injured. First big injury of the year, it looks like. Yep, broken collarbone, 1 to 2 months. All right, we're 2-4-2 so far. Misa cannot get anything going. Despite his ice time being much better, only has 1 assist now here in 8 games, so a bit of a slow start for Misa. But the good news is, he has gone up to a 3-star ability and 5-star potential. So he is without a doubt growing. There's just a lot of pains involved in the growth process. I feel like we had a lot more left wingers than just these 5. Oh man, we are dead last in the league in goals for per game, 2.38. And where does goals against per game set? 21st in the league. So that's not as bad as it's been in years past, but things are still looking rough here in Washington. I mean, we gotta at least be making some progress by now, you know? Man, I feel like this is a really slow start for basically everybody besides Afanasyev and Phillips and LaPierre. Everybody else is having a slow start. Even Artamanov only has 2 points. Misa only with 1. Melanson with 1. 0 for Carconi and Benson. I'm going to call up Cutter Gauthier. We can hold 1 more player on the roster anyway. All right, so I think what we're going to do is just go 1 more month just to see if this is a fluke or not, but I have a feeling it's not, just given DJ Smith's track record. And if we don't at least show progress in November, then I think we got to let the coach go, because it's just not been a good time. Like, it feels like we're at the point where we should be getting better, but a lot of our prospects are just not turning out the way I thought they would, at least not so far. I mean, the only one who's really proved himself so far as prospects go is Crystal. Even Suzdalev, his career high I think is 25 points, even at a 3-star ability, and as of right now he's only on pace for 20. Misa's had such a slow start to the season, and then not to mention when coach was giving him limited ice time. Melanson's been pretty bad, Lynn's been bad, Benson's been bad. It's just basically everybody here, it seems, unfortunately. So like I said, I do want to go 1 more month just to get a little bit more of a sample size, but I get the feeling we might be parting ways with Mr. DJ Smith soon. I mean, I know we're still at a point where a lot of our good prospects still aren't even on the team yet, but, you know, the prospects that are on the team are just not doing well at all, and that's a serious problem. Yeah, I've seen enough. I have seen enough. We are 5-11-5 at the moment. So if we compare that to last year's record and we stretch that out over 82 games, we're a quarter of the way through the season right now, roughly. We're getting 20 wins again. So yeah, I think DJ Smith's out of here. Let's see the stats. Oh, those are rough. Yeah, we're going backwards, man. This is rough. A Fanasev with the highest point total with 14, and then Crystal with 14, Lind with 12, and Lapierre with 12 as well. Phillips with 11, Petrangelo with 10, Suzdalev and Misa and Galvis with 9. So Misa and Suzdalev, despite being 3-star abilities, not too productive so far. Galvis as a defenseman is doing a good job with 9 points, but Lazan, Artamanov only with 7 points. Lambos only with 7. That's backwards from last year, by the way. That is a big step backwards from last year. He had 53 points last season. So far, only 7. Huang and Kartai only with 5. And Kartai last year had 42. This is just... This team is definitely not working well together. I don't know if it's the coach or the general makeup of the team, but it seems like all of our players are underperforming this year. All of them, besides maybe Galvis. that's about it. And then Petrangelo, who's 37. Petrangelo is doing well too, relative to his role and his age. But I'm not too concerned about Petrangelo, given that he's not exactly going to be a mainstay here. For a 2.5-star ability, Callan Lynn's doing all right too, but just like a lot of underwhelming performances here. Let's see in goal, a 907 for Prosvetov, and for Patara a 915. So in goal, it's not actually as bad as it was to start, but I would not be surprised if we are last in the league for scoring. I mean, shockingly, we have a 2.52. Somehow San Jose is at a 2.18. And our goals against per game has actually gotten much better. So it wasn't just my imagination that goaltending has indeed gotten better. It's just we, for whatever reason, cannot score. We're absolutely terrible at faceoffs as well. Power plays at 16.4. Penalty kill, 12th in the league, actually at a 80.8. So defense and goaltending looks actually respectable somewhat. But overall, we're still clearly not a good team. And it should be getting at least a little bit better by this point, right? So I think what we should do here is play off of our strength on defense and in goal and get a defensive coach. That's what I'm thinking. Is there 2 Steve Konowalchuks? I think there's 2 Steve Konowalchuks. That's a bit odd. And they both have different attributes as well. Different coaching ratings. Yeah. That's a bit odd. Different career stats too. Could go with David Quinn. He prefers prospects. I mean, his offensive preference is standard, but he has a physical preference, and I like that. So David Quinn is definitely an option if we want to go for the standard offensive preference. There's also Guy Boucher, who is a defensive coach. No physical preference. He's a balanced preference there. He also prefers prospects. Great coaching ratings as well. 16 tactics, in-game tactics at 16. Player management 15. Some good ratings. So I think for me, it's between Boucher and David Quinn. I am kind of curious to see what this team does with the defensive coach. Who do we have before? Who was our old coach? Before DJ Smith, was it Brad Larson? Yeah, I think it was Brad Larson. He was a standard coach. Yeah, I kind of want to see what this team does with the defensive coach, especially considering our defensive numbers. So I think I will sign Guy Boucher as an assistant coach. I will fire DJ Smith and I will move Boucher to the head coach. There you go. So hopefully that does something. I know it's going to be a pretty drastic change going from an offensive system to a defensive system, but at this point, I want to see some progress. I want to see some improvement from the young guys. I wasn't seeing that from Mr. DJ Smith. All right, off to a pretty good start here is Guy Boucher. He's got Misa on the second line. That's already a positive in my book. Fourth line left wing. Misa can't catch a break. I mean, I know he didn't start out great, but he's been doing better as of late. Yeah, he had an assist in the last game, a goal a few games ago, 10 points so far in 23 games. I don't know why why do these coaches not like Michael Misa? He's got a 3-star ability, 5-star potential. Why are you playing him on the 4th line? Honestly, if it weren't for the poor coaching ratings on my GM, I might have just taken over myself because these AI coaches are not doing it for me right now. I mean, obviously, we'll stick with Mr. Guy Boucher for a little bit here, see what he can do. But whenever I see Misa on the 4th line, it's just like, why? All right, so we're on January 1st. We are 13, 18, and 6. Not the best. I mean, I wish we were... I mean, I'm not expecting to make the playoffs this year. I never said that, we should be expecting to contend by year 4 or 5. That's clearly not the case. but I at least want to see some improvement here, you know? And as of right now, we are on pace for what looks like, I mean, it might end up being around the same as what we had last year, because I believe we've won a few more as of late. Yeah, we won against Florida, the Islanders, Florida again. Then we won against the Islanders on the 18th. So we're winning a little bit more often now. But I at least want to show the playoff teams like, hey, we're right here. We're coming for you, sort of thing. Even if we don't make the playoffs. And that shows the league too that even when all of our young prospects haven't fully developed yet, and even with guys who are not even on the team as of yet, we can still at least be somewhat competitive, right? I mean, that's part of establishing a winning culture, I think. And unfortunately, this season has been rather back and forth about that. Carson Lambos is doing an amazing job. Holy moly, 82 defensive grade and 71 offensive on this team. Yeah, he's definitely, as of right now, deserving of that captaincy. He picked up his point production, I believe, as well, compared to the last time we saw, because when we were under DJ Smith still, he was on pace for, I'm going to say 20 points, is I believe what I saw. Now he's on pace for 46. So clearly something's clicking with Lambos and Guy Boucher. And he's up to a 4-star talent now as well. He could end up being 4.5 or maybe even 5-star by the time he hits his potential. I mean, that was such a good trade. It was just nicked down for Carson Lambos. That is easily, I mean, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. That is easily one of the best 1-for-1 trades I've ever made. And it was offered by the computer too. It wasn't even, you know, it wasn't even me who offered for Carson Lambos. It was Minnesota who offered Carson Lambos for Nick Down. I was like, okay, I'll take it. And here he is a few years later. He's now our captain. He's been an incredible acquisition so far. He's only 24 too. So hopefully the other players on this team can follow his example. Hold on, let me just make sure goaltenders are all right. Prosvetov, what are you doing, man? 896. Goals saved above average is now at a minus 11.6. Come on, Ivankovic. I need you to get better, my dude. I need you to get better. You too, Engstrom. Goaltending is such a disaster. Thomas DeRuio is now a 2.5-star talent. I didn't even see that till now. Got some interesting ratings. Very good hitter. He might do really well in a 4th-line role. And his grinder rating's at 17. Power forward 17 as well. Yeah, I may as well give him a chance. Carconi's not been good so far. Only 3 points in 26 games played, a 49 defensive grade. So I'm going to send down Carconi, get him some seasoning in the minors, and call up DeRuio, see what he's about. Soto's at a 2.5-star talent as well. I don't like his defensive category though, so I think I'll leave him in the minors for now. Wow, we're actually winning games. We're almost at 500. There it is. We're 20-20-6 with that stretch there with a 2-1 win against Vegas. Huang's injured though. Oh boy, that doesn't look good. Yeah, severe ear cut. 1-2 months. Holy moly, we're actually winning some games here. Look at this. We're 23-20-6 now. That is a 6-game winning streak for your Washington Capitals, ladies and gentlemen. Going all the way back to San Jose. And then 7 of 8 going back to Minnesota. And as a matter of fact, we only lost 2 games total in January. Winnipeg and Anaheim, that's it. Every other game was a win. I mean, we're in 8th right now in the conference. Unfortunately, if the playoffs started today, we still wouldn't be in because of the divisional format. But still, that's some really good improvement. I think we have finally found our guy in Guy Boucher. He's been great so far for this team. 18-9 is his record, especially considering where we started this season. That's some massive improvement for such a short time. For such a young team as well. So I'd say we'll just keep going until at least the trade deadline here. Go up to March 1st, see what happens. Oh boy, Pietrangelo injured. So we're going to have to call up a defenseman here. Ryan Lynn's at a 2.5-star ability now. He's had some development down there in Hershey. It looks like 15 points in 16 games played. I want him to stay there for the rest of the year. I'm going to call up Kostenko instead. He's 25, so he doesn't really have too much development ahead of him. So keeping him Hershey wouldn't be too advantageous, especially not when he's a 2.5-star ability. So I think I will call him up to the NHL. All right, so we're on March 1st. We are 28-22-7. I believe as of right now, we are just outside the playoffs. Yeah, as we see by the wild card. But this is exactly the kind of improvement I wanted to see out of this team. So that's great to see, honestly. I was a little nervous after that start to the season that we had, but it appears with the new head coach hiring of Guy Boucher, we seem to have gotten it together. And before we advance any further, let's check out the player stats. You have a Fanasev with 47 points in 55 games played, 44 for LaPierre, 40 for Lambos, 32 for Crystal, 29 for Suzdalev and Galvis. So Galvis having a good rookie season here. Misa with 27 and 57. Artamanov, who is currently injured, no surprise there, has 26 in 53. Lind, Kartai, and Phillips all with 24. 20 for Protas. Huang with 18. 17 for Lozon. 16 for Petrangelo. Melanson with 14. 11 for York. 10 for Benson. 6 for Deruio. Gautier, and Cameron, who I've actually sent back down to the AHL. He's back with Hershey. And then Carconi with 3, 1 for Kostenko in 7 games played. And in goal, you have a 908 for Prosvetov in 46 games played and 3 shutouts. And then for Patera, a 909 save percentage in 12 games played. So overall, much better than I thought this season would turn out to be, at least so far. I think at this point, we just have one more solid draft. Next year, we get guys like Ryan Lynn in there. Hopefully Cameron gets better to the point where he can be on the roster full time. Levshunov as well. I mean, we have so much potential on this team and within our system, but we just need a little bit more time to really start to cook here, so to speak. Because excluding a permanent starting goaltender, we basically have everything we need in terms of prospects. At least you got the elite defenseman in Lynn and Lambos, not to mention Levshunov and Galvis. Then at center, you got Misa, you have Crystal, you have Artamanov. So things are starting to come together here in Washington. But you know what? I don't really have any trade deadline plans here. So let's just go ahead and see if we can make the playoffs this year. But first, I'm going to re-sign Lambos. He's asking for $7 million for 4 years. Yeah, that makes sense. He's gotten much, much better. Got him down to 6.6 for 4 years. I will definitely do that. Wow, we are winning. I was not expecting this season. The wins just keep coming. I don't think I've seen a loss so far. During March, there is your first loss during March against Detroit. That was by far our most impressive run of this GM mode so far. And we are now in 3rd in the Metropolitan Division, 36, 23, and 7. Wow. That is what I call improvement. I certainly was not expecting that. We are now 9th overall in the league. That's pretty impressive. For where this team was as early as when we had DJ Smith as our coach, that is some impressive stuff from this team. I mean, the season's not over yet, but regardless, that is certainly a huge jump for this team. And remember, it's only going to get better from here. We may as well just keep going here and see where we end up. Oh, and by the way, here's that winning streak that we were on before. Win against Montreal, win against Pittsburgh, so that's 2, 5, 9, 10. We went on a 10-game winning streak from February 25th until, March 14th, and then the loss against Detroit. And now, unfortunately, we were on a 4-game losing streak to follow that up, so I suppose good things don't always come easily, but hopefully we can get out of that little rut there and back to our winning ways. Feels odd to be saying that about this team this early, but still, it's the truth. All right, so we have finished the season 43, 30, and 9. Can't say I saw that coming. We finished 4th in the division, and we do indeed have the first wildcard spot, so we have clinched the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in this GM mode. Let's take a look at the final stats for the season. Hendrix Lapierre with 68 points on the season. I believe that is a career high for him. 3.5-star talent now. Afanasev with 61. 59 for Lambos. Good first year for him as captain. Crystal with 53 points. 47 for Suzdalev. I believe that is also a career high. Yeah, that's by far a career high, in fact. Misa in his rookie season with 42 points in 79 games played. I don't think he'll get the Calder, but that being said, that's still a really good rookie season, especially compared to how he started, right? I think it was 1 point in 8 games played. Then you have Galvis with 40. So Galvis, an unexpected 6th round pick who has blossomed into a solid defenseman in year number 1 of his NHL career. And you have Kartai with 38, 37 for Phillips, 36 for Protas, Lind with 34, 33 for Huang, 32 for Artamanov, 23 for York and Lozon, 21 for Petrangelo, 19 for Melanson, 14 for Kostenko, 12 for Benson, 8 for Deruio, 7 for Gautier, 6 for Cameron, 3 for Carconi, and in goal a 904 for Prosvetov and Patera with a 915. Now let's check out the team stats. You have a 315 for goals for per game. We are in 22nd in the league now, so that's much better than we've been in recent times. And then goals against per game, we're actually 8th in the league at 3.05. Faceoffs 49.7, definitely got better. Power play 20th in the league with a 19.2. And the penalty kill, 13th in the league with an 81.2. So obviously still a lot of work to be done here in Washington, but this year was a fantastic step forward for the future of the Washington Capitals. So I think with that being said, we'll end things off here. And the next one, we will get to the playoffs of year number 5.